Well, good morning, friend. Friday, August the 6th. I hope that you've had a wonderful week and I'm getting ready for the weekend as we get ready to go into the fall time of the year. A little bit cooler, Dave. It's going to warm up pretty good here in Oklahoma City for the next week or so, back into 90s. The dog days of summer is what they call it. But looking forward to just a good weekend, seeing what the Lord can do. Hope that you're preparing, trying to lead people to Christ, getting some plans, bring someone to church this Sunday. Everybody needs to always try. Pass out, everybody can pass out a gospel tract, my friend. And I'd encourage you to do so. Pass out the gospel tracts. Be sure that you invite people to church. I believe that's good for every believer to do. Anybody, even a child, can pass out a gospel tract. So I'd encourage you to do that. I want to read to you this morning from John chapter 7, verse 24. The scripture says, judge not according to the appearance, but judge righteous judgment. Now, I make many judgments every day, and so do you. This does not mean that I'm judging people, but it does mean that I have to come to a conclusion on something to make a decision several times every day. My greatest desire and my greatest fear is that I make the right judgment every time. My fear is I don't want to make a wrong judgment. As a pastor, I'm dealing with God's work and his people. And I want to make the right decision to make sure that his people and his work are not hurt. Now, as a dad, I want to make the right judgment for my daughter because I don't want to hurt her future. As a husband and leader of the home, I want to make the right judgment because I know that my wife and I will have to live with the results of that decision for years. Now, everybody, my friend, makes judgments every day. You make judgments in your finances by deciding whether or not to spend your money on something. Parents make judgments every day on whether or not to allow their children to do something or to be with someone, at least they should, at least. Leaders make judgments every day on the job or in the community that affects the lives of those they lead. Now, making judgments is a part of life, but the desire of every person should be to make the righteous judgment. Now, let me share several things with you that will help you in this area of making judgments. First, judgments do have to be made. You can't bury your head in the sand about decisions that need to be made and expect everything to turn out right. Making decisions or judgments is not easy, but they have to be made. Don't let the difficulty of the judgment or the decision cause you to be indecisive. A decision has to be made even though it is difficult. Second, making right judgments is paramount because you are dealing with lives. Every decision you make impacts someone's lives other than yourselves. This is why it's critical to make righteous judgments. Your judgments will affect others. Now, be sure what decision you make, you've got to be sure that whatever decision you make, that is the right decision. Third, making a judgment on appearance always leads to the wrong judgment. You cannot let what you see cause you to make a judgment. Judgments on appearance are always emotional judgments, and emotional judgments almost always are the wrong judgment. Just because it feels right doesn't make it the right thing to do. I often tell people, you want a feeling, stick your finger in a light socket, you get a feeling. Now, should you do that? No, you shouldn't. But the fact is, many people make decisions on feelings. Well, I feel this. You better stop feeling, my friend. A lot of people have felt themselves into backsliding. A lot of people have felt themselves out of a good church. A lot of people have felt themselves into a bad marriage. A lot of people have felt themselves into a wrong job. You better make sure the decision you make is a right decision. Fourth, never make a judgment without hearing both sides of a story. So the only way you can keep yourself from making a judgment on appearance is to hear the other side of the story before you make a decision. You've got to withhold yourself from forming an opinion before you hear the other side, because once you form an opinion, you cannot make a righteous judgment. It takes character not to form an opinion about a situation by one side of the story, but you can train yourself over time not to form opinions until you hear the other side or you know the other side of the decision about which you need to make. Fifth, making judgments by principle helps lessen the daily judgments you must make. The fewer judgments you make, the lesser chance you have of making a wrong decision. The best way to make fewer decisions is to allow principles to set up in your life, to set up principles in your life to make the decisions for you when you're faced with those situations. Principles, follow me very carefully, are made before the pressure of the judgment call has to be made. Therefore, you can make a righteous judgment about situations when you refer to the principle and allow them to make decisions for you. Now, my friend, you're going to make decisions every day of your life. And I want to challenge you. Take these little thoughts right here. People stay in the wrong church that is dying because of feelings. Well, I've got, I feel like I need to stay here to help keep my church alive. If it's dead, not go and sow in and get out, go somewhere. That's alive. God wouldn't have you stay in a dead church. So, well, my preacher wouldn't like it. Then he needs to get on fire about soul winning. You're going to make you make decisions on feelings without principle and without without knowing the other side. You're going to make wrong decisions. Make righteous judgments every day, my friend, because your future depends on it. Your children depend on it. Your family depends on it. Your life depends on it. Make the right decisions. You'll never regret it. I hope this is a great help to you. Hey, share this podcast with others, would you? Tell others, hey, you need to come listen to Brother Donnelly every day on the Pastor's Podcast and see if he can and listen to the truths he presents. It'll help them no matter where they are. I hope you have a great weekend. Try to lead someone to Christ. And remember this weekend, be good to everybody. Everybody's having a tough time, my friend. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday morning.